All right, so today I'm going to kind of walk you through how to approach a hole. And the first thing is pick your favorite disc, whatever you think's going to work. But as we go through each of the holes here at Yahoola Creek Park, I'm going to kind of walk you through my thoughts and interpretation of how I should approach it, whether that's turnover, hyzer, forehand, backhand. I'll explain everything to make sure that you know what would be best for you on the upcoming drive. So we have hole one at Hula. It's 180 feet straight across the creek. Some of the things that you think about going into the hole is that we have these power cables coming down from the power lines, keeping them secure. And so you can either think about throwing out to the right on a little bit of a hyzer, straight at the basket. It's a little bit tougher of a shot, or you can throw like a turnover or forehand hyzer. So it's a matter of what you're most comfortable with, but I tend to like to throw that straight shot just to make sure that I can have a better control of my distance and speed. And if you fall short, that hill is a nice little catch, and then the putt up to the basket is not too daunting. Could not draw it up better. So if you're coming up short a little bit like this at the base of these poles, kind of comes into your lie, but it shouldn't be much of an issue here. Yeah, not bad. So we are at hole two. It's a par three. They changed to the basket position, so it's going to be a little bit shorter than 237, so probably about 200. But with it being up to the left, you likely want to throw a slightly overstable or stable putter or mid to just let it hyzer out to the left. Or you can throw something like a flick and hyzer esque line to kind of get it to nestle in over that part of the basket or like that circle over there next to that fence. Safe to say, if you're trying to show off for your friends, make sure you know what you're doing and don't hit those things because he'd be like, I doesn't usually do that. But if you want to play some nice simple golf, you have tap ins like that for birdie. So we have hole three. It's par three, 288. We will show you the line now. And so we have a high route and a low route. I personally like to take the high route with a higher speed fairway, distance driver, whatever I'm feeling that day. Or we have a low line where we can throw an overstable fairway where we get a nice little skip shot just to kind of get a better placement. The high line deals a little bit more with getting past this tree at the corner of the turn. But as long as you get by with a low skipping shot, you're taking OB, which is the road, out of the question. So it's really just a toss up of to wind conditions, what you're feeling that day. This is where I landed with the first shot. This tree to Kenzie's right is typically what you try to avoid, but we hit it anyways, dropped straight down. We like to be where that cutoff stump is, just because it puts you within the circle and you don't have death putts with a backdrop behind the basket here. But I'll give it a little run for us because why not? Ah, just nice little run. This is where that second one rolled off to. I pushed a little bit too far straight instead of letting it stay on hyzer, but typically from here with where it went out, I'm in the jungle. And then there's this tiny gap, which many people cannot hit, but just because we're here, I'm gonna try. Yeah, you don't want to be down here at all. Tapping in the first shot here, nice and easy, just breaking down the hole. All right, so now we have hole four. It's 267. It's straight down the fairway, a little bit uphill behind me. There's two ways of going about this. The most popular route is anything that you can get to go straight and filter up towards that top shelf, more towards the green. Or if you have some power, people like to take it out to the right, up above that tree on the right side of the fairway and let it crash down. But definitely not for everyone. So actually, this guy went a lot further than I thought I did, or thought it did. But we're gonna the straight shot is the way to go. All right, so we're feeling pretty good now. Rolling into hole five, 267 downhill. If we see here, there is a large basketball court in the middle. Wasn't like that a few years ago, but now that we have it, it creates a forehand line down the left side, or what most people do if they're not comfortable with forehands, they actually throw a backhand over top of this basketball court, high enough to get over the fence, and then crash down to the left. More of like a stock hyzer type shot. Preferably, I throw the forehand because it takes a lot more of the space in the air out of the way, because on this hole, typically we have a headwind pushing it back, which more often than not raises the disc up, pushing it way far to the left, out of contention for birdie. That second one landed a little bit short, but might have been more. We don't need to watch that roll. All right, so that first one might have been more preferable if I actually took the time to make the putt, but now this first one's left me with about a 20-footer, so we'll try and keep it honest here. Yes. So now we have hole 6. It's 304 downhill, par 3. The two main ways that I've seen this be played is the straightest, slightly stable, maybe overstable if you have the power to get it there, mid-range, or we have a fairway driver in the Cigata that we can put on a little bit more hyzer and high up in the air and letting it crash down more towards that front right part of the circle. All right, so this 10-footer shouldn't be too bad. It's the first shot. So, yeah, here we go. The second one wasn't too bad, too. Yeah, easy. All right, so we have hole 7, 263, par 3. This has got probably the most customization out of all the holes out here. You can throw anything for a right-handed player. Forehand, you could throw a flex shot, you could throw forehand turnover, you name it there. Same thing for backhand, turnover, straight shot, hyzer, blah, 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 blah. Lefty, same thing. It's pretty much dealer's choice. So whatever you're most confident with, that's probably what you're going to throw. But forehand disc right here, Raptor, show you here. Went a little bit straighter than I thought I was going to make it do. But I'm going to slide over to the other side, camera lady. Show you the backhand. I guess the backhand's feeling good today. That went deep. And so here's the first one. Left a little meat on the bone. So your 30-footer, you are hoping you're hitting during rounds. That was terrible. This is your straight shot that ended up being a whole lot better than you thought it was going to be. Because we missed that one for par. I mean, birdie. That's for par. So we have hole 8, par 3, 324. This is probably one of the most challenging holes out here because of just its distance and the kind of line that you have to get. Par is doable. Birdie is the challenge. So you're getting strokes on folks out here during league or whatever round you're playing. But two main lines. We have a backhand that's likely going to turn over. Mine always, for some reason, go over the field and then crash down more towards like the top of the hill in front of the basket. Or there's a forehand where you can throw over the field, outside the field, and it's typically going to get you in the same spot. But everything's based off feel in this game. So whatever you're feeling, this is what we'll go with. This is where my freaking weapon ended up, going after my camera woman. But this is not the shot you want to be left with. It's about a 50 to 60 foot downhill putt with a chance of scooting because of how wet this grass is. But it's not like I haven't made this before. I probably won't. Probably won't make it. Not bad. So this forehand scooted down, which is always what we love to see. But that's a bird for that. We're not counting it today. Second shots don't count right now. And par. Not bad. All right. So we have hole 9, 223, par 3. It is a mandatory left. It might be easy to see with that tin colored arrow, but I like to throw a forehand up and around these trees. The way that they slant is perfect. So if you throw a little bit higher and you clear them, you have plenty of space. But other people also like to take the backhand, which is a little bit of a flex shot. And whenever I throw that and show you, Kenzie will get in the place where you can actually see that. All right, so this second shot put me at about 25 feet. We're going to give it a good go. Doesn't count because that first one was what we prefer. It's fine. This is where this forehand ended up. It just filtered straight on down the hill. Nice, easy pickings. All right, so now we have hole 10. I believe it's 317. There's 2 shots as a right-hand thrower that you can honestly only take. There is the forehand, throwing it up to the left, letting it kind of push straight, and then hyzer, or there's a turnover backhand where you throw it just right. It'll flex just a little bit, enough to kind of meet the angle, but then eventually you want it to finish out and not go too far right because there is an OB creek that makes it tremendously hard to get discs out of. So we know that shots don't always go the way that you plan and that we have to scramble. I'm going to kind of give you an idea as to what we can do here since we're about probably 160 feet away. It's not going to be a run per se, but you want to get it up there just so you can ensure that you get a par. My choice is usually a backhand. So I'll start with that, but I'll show you a little bit of a flex forehand as well. Okay, you typically want to get that a little bit further up, but it's not going to be the end of the world. We'll be fine. And then here's the flex forehand. Just if that's what you're most comfortable with. Some people like throwing forehand approaches just because of touch. So let's see. Yeah, about the same way each time, so it'll be okay. All right, so we have probably a 45 footer downhill to get the bird. We have to keep in mind though that there's a little bit of a backdrop, so you don't want to run it too hard. But if you are, hit something. So, camera lady, can you please get behind me? That's the best way to see the hole here. Okay. Ran it, hit something. For the sake of time, I went ahead and picked up the forehand, but the backhand shot put us to within about 15 feet. So, should make those more often than not. But this first one is honestly how most of my rounds go. I don't turn it quite enough. So par's not too bad. But birdie, you're getting strokes. All right, so now, oh, there's a little fly on you.
Oh, that was not a little fly.
It was.
No, that was not. That was a huge fly.
I said it to make sure you didn't run.
Is it near me so you can run?
You're fine.
Okay.
All right, so we have a hole 11, 243. We either have a straight backhand shot or a dicey forehand flex shot or turnover. I like the backhand shot because it's just straight up, put it on a little bit of hyzer, let it coast, and it scoots up to the circle almost every time. The forehand, if you're a forehand only kind of guy, it makes sense just because you got to get some height, let it flex, and it typically is going to let you land at about 20, 30 feet on that right side of the circle. Sorry I got in the way of that shot, guys. I did not think it would go this far left, but we are a little bit obstructed getting Mr. Strads out. Nice little birdie, but also because of how close I was to this fence, I did a little Texas flip and adjusted my lie just enough for my foot to get into place. But another straddle putt here. Nice. All right, so now we're at hole 12, 197. This one can be the easiest hole in the course or the hardest hole in the course. You have a little bit of a gap here behind me that you have to get through with whichever shot you like to throw. I like to throw a forehand flex just because it keeps me away from that right side, because it gets to be a lot harder of an approach the further right and the further deep you go. But sometimes people like throwing a backhand that kind of flips up to flat, contests those V trees down in the fairway. Oh, beat the gap and kicked left. Huh, maybe it's not a bad line after all. So walking up here, I didn't realize this whole tree is gone. You'd get stuck over here on this side of the green, and all you were left is half a pizza's worth of the basket, having to throw like some crazy line and angled putter shot just to be able to get there, or maybe some sort of like little fancy shindig to be able to get it up. But now this shot isn't punishable, so we should be able to just make easy birdie here. And same thing for this guy. It's just right here. I'm pretty certain on that gap. I clipped this tree right here at the base, and easy money. All right, so now that we're feeling even better after those consistent birdies back to back, going for a turkey, we have hole 13, 369. It's the only par 4 on the course at the moment. And what we have is a dead straight shot. There are primarily two ways of going about this. There's going to be a power forehand where you could go up the gut, hoping that you get a little bit hyzer at the end, missing all the trees that open up that lane to the basket. Or you have a nice straight shot with either a putter, mid, or your favorite straight fairway, just to kind of make it nice and easy and hit the landing zone, which is just at the base of that hill where the gravel is that kind of shapes right there. So me, I miraculously got this disc to go exactly where I wanted it to, breaking down the hole. Right here, we do have a chance for an eagle throw in, but we're going to play it safe and try and pitch it up to right underneath the basket, just because we're going to want to try and play smart golf in the middle of a round. And if you're starting from hole 1, gosh, you don't want to mix anything, mess anything up, and just try and keep it nice and simple. So just a little touchy approach shot. Watch out, squirrel. That's okay. That putt's not too bad. But then we got a flick right here. I missed the mark, but it's fine. You still have a putt. So this is probably some of the best placements you can get with that forehand. Takes a good bit of oomph, but now we have a eagle putt. So I'm gonna try and run this because I like playing aggressive as well. I know I was playing smart earlier, but we got strokes to make up.
Oh, that was so good.
Let's go. So the backhand is a little bit shorter, so we're gonna play the forehand. It's not gonna be would have been my first choice, so that's what we're going with. So this one's a nice tunnel shot. This is hole 14, par 3, 238. The most obvious route is a backhand, but on the off chance, if you're feeling forehandy, let's just throw a nice little flip up flexi forehand and try and get it close. It's got a creek just after the sprucey tree right here. And then once you go further down the way, it's almost like a triangle where it kind of meets the creek, goes up towards that bridge. And so that's also OB. So definitely want to avoid that. But I'll go ahead and show us the backhand first, just because it's the most used line and it's what I throw. Skip, skip, skip. Oh, it didn't skip enough. I think it's dry, but it's definitely going to be a little bit of an uncomfy putt. But got the Athena for the forehand here. I don't usually throw it, but I thought I might as well show you guys. So we'll see. Oops, sorry. Dang, I parked the wrong. I know, it's the wrong basket. All right, so that first shot is wet. And so, as a helpful tip for you guys, whenever you're going and playing disc golf and you're trying to be official, what happens is you find your OB disc, and if it's in the water right here, goes in, make sure you have somebody help you, because what you're going to do is place it directly above your lie to make sure that it is playable. And then you just putt from there, take your stroke how you normally would, and then go from there. Yeah, so technically we're going to be putting for par here, so let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Leave that there. And one thing, from being this far away, and camera lady, can you please turn around and show the folks? You have OB that you're worrying about on the missed putt. So play this in a way where if you're confident, go ahead and make it close. But if you're not feeling so hot about it, you can just lay up and take your par. But it's a second shot, so you can just make it. Try to make it. So yeah, that's a par. All right, guys. So we're at hole 15. It's 304, straight across the field. One of the most, like, please ace me holes out here, because if you can get it there and it goes in, the crowd goes wild. But we have two types of shots we're likely going to be throwing. I can get there with the mid fairly comfortably, so I like throwing something nice and straight, nothing too fancy, because I just don't want it to hyzer out if it's windy. And if I throw it on hyzer, it's not going to really be doing anything much other than maybe turning. But then there's also the chance for a forehand, and because it's far enough out there, you likely want to try and keep it low, miss that tree in the far left, and kind of skip underneath it, maybe just fly underneath it and coast into the circle. All right, so this is the forehand. Scooted down the hill some. Not the worst in the world, but you don't want to work harder with a far putt like this. But this is the second shot. We're just gonna have fun with it. Missed. I knew it. Now this is what we're talking about. Little birdie. Yeah, this backhand's nice. It can shape to where if you want to go out wide, it can, so you can play with your distance control. But yeah, 304 with a Malita. Not bad. All right, so now we have hole 16. This is a daunting hole. It's 279 downhill on a stump. So it's an elevated basket. Likely you're going to throw something straight just to get it down there. But we also have a forehand line that I'll probably show you guys. It goes up and around the tree. It's a lot more scary because you bring water into the equation. It's at the top of the hill. So this high forehand stayed high. So now we have a downhill putt for birdie. The smart player will just drop it straight at the stump. But I'm feeling a little silly today. Ooh. I could have hit that. I was a little nervous. I could have done that. My camera lady didn't want to come down here because of the steep stairs, which I totally understand. But birdie. Oh, they didn't see that. All right, so we have hole 17, 281, uphill. We call this goat hill around these parts. I forget why, but it's just really high up there. You either have a layup zone right here, then go straight up into the trees. You have a spike hyzer above the trees, which it's just a spray and pray. You just throw it, and if it goes down where you want it, Well, good for you. But I like to be different, and I like to go up this left gap, which definitely heckles with OB. Hey, no dying around here, baby. There's people around. But go up the hill, skip up off the road, and there's a nice little gap more often than not that you kind of get yourself placed at. But you really, really have to pump it up there. So, because of this being so odd, you have to start off the tee pad, and as long as your feet are on it before you throw, is legal. So it's okay. Oh yeah, double skip up the road. That's how we draw it up. All right, that hole is steep, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of a pro move here. Put a disc upside down underneath your knee, and we're doing that because this tree right here gets in the way if you're standing up. So we do a little straddle. I just hope it goes in. Oh, got reset. Oh yes, let's go. So I'm so far down here with this backhand shot. This is kind of what you can contest with and have to worry about. So I'm gonna throw a little bit of a patent pending, which for those that don't know, your foot is at the lie. You're stepped out as far as you possibly can, backwards to the basket, and you just throw. So hopefully this is something good. Watch out! Sorry. Now, if you really want to, I'm not ambidextrous. Let's throw a little bit of a lefty forehand. A little flexy. Nice. I'm in a squatted catcher's position, but this is where my patent pending went. So I'm gonna do a little straddle squat. Ah, nice. All right, we are at our final hole, hole 18, par 3. The short basket is 219. We've been playing the shorts today just for the simplistics of being able to film and kind of give y'all some easy to digest shots. But from here, my best shot is a straight putter, a little bit of hyzer at the end, just drops right into the circle. I'll show you a forehand flex with the matrix, and I'll throw a little bit of a sky hyzer with a rock 3, just to give y'all a little bit of a spectacle as to what things look like. We got a little bit of a right to left tail cross, but we'll throw another forehand just because we didn't throw it right. Yeah, that was definitely the shot. All right, this forehand actually wasn't too bad, but we're just gonna toss him up there. Ooh, lie is a little bit funny here. Or maybe it's not so funny. Okay. Let's go. Birdie to finish out the round. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two about a thing or two. There's a lot there. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure to let me know in the comments. I'm trying to think about what we can do next. Maybe we could do how many mulligans does it take to get 18 under at Yahoola? Maybe we can try backhand only, forehand only, just to see everything and see just in a row like how challenging it is to only throw one type of way. So y'all let me know. But thanks again, and we'll be seeing you guys back out on the course.